there's this machine where they're able to travel both backwards and forwards in terms of seeing what's going on in time. So this girl Casey, when she gets there, she's allowed to use the machine, and she goes right away to Florida, to her hometown, to see that Cape Canaveral's been taken apart. Throughout the film, there's this ongoing theme that she's trying to stop the destruction of Cape Canaveral. Cape Canaveral CC 33. They have runway 33 at Cape Canaveral. These numbers so important to the Masons. Almost every astronaut in history has been a Freemason, something not known to most people in the mainstream. But anyhow, in this machine, or when she travels, she then sees that not only has this been taken apart, but the Earth has been destroyed. And she travels around, she sees a nuclear blast is happening in a certain city. She sees that there's this rioting and chaos scene. Europe. Then she goes to her own hometown in Florida, and she sees that her entire neighborhood is underwater. And Governor Nix at this point is explaining, see, there's nothing you can do. The world's about to be destroyed. You're just looking days ahead. At this point, George Clooney lets her know that this is exactly 58 days from now. Remember, Freemasonry equals 58. The Paris attacks ended at the 58th minute of November 14th. This girl, at this point, she's still saying she doesn't accept this. She knows something can be done. And Governor Nix, while he's explaining to her that she's wrong, the screen changes. It goes from this this visualization of destruction, of flooding in her town, to this, everything back to normal. This changes after she tells him that she thinks he's wrong, it can be fixed. Kind of like how the percentage decreased earlier on George Clooney's meter. And then George Clooney sees this and he's going, see, Nix? See what this girl did? She has a special power. So, the rest of the movie is them trying to convince Governor Nix that they need to do something to save the world. Here they are both pleading. You can see they're all passionate, saying something can be done. We have the capability. We're showing that it's possible. Governor Nix explains that, listen, humanity's pathetic. On Earth, things are so bad that there's an obesity epidemic and a starvation epidemic. And that can only be explained with the nonsensical madness taking place on planet Earth. And he says if you bring these people to Tomorrowland, they'll destroy it for all the same reasons. Because they are not fit. They are incapable. They are doomed to destruction. And Truth Seeker, as Governor Nix is explaining this, I sympathize with what he's saying, because if you look at humanity, they are on a course for destruction. It's like they want their own demise. People realize that the world's being destroyed with pollution, but they're not doing anything themselves to stop it. I have this perspective because since I was 18 years old, I've changed my diet. I've eaten less. I've eaten a diet that's mostly based on fruits and vegetables because it consumes less resources. I've, driven less. I've consumed less. I've tried to do my part to change the world, and all the time I've been doing this, everybody in my life is saying, oh, Zach, you're just one person. You can't do anything. You're just shortchanging yourself. You're missing out on the glorious steak. You're missing out on the great vacation. You're missing out on the fancy watches and big screens. So when I hear Governor Nix saying how humanity is just gluttonous and doomed for destruction, I hear where he's coming from. But at the same time, what I realize is the reason people are the way they are is because they've been programmed and trained all their lives to have these attitudes, to have these beliefs, to have these consumption patterns. People have been trained to behave as poorly as they do. So I think that's what this movie's about, If humanity is to save itself, it has to have a major change of consciousness. And that's what the big debate is. In the end, it comes down to a handshake. Governor Nix is going to send them both back to the world for the final days before destruction instead of trying to solve it. And at that moment, George Clooney flips his watch, setting off a chain of events that end up saving the world in movie fashion, Truth Seeker. And it should be noted that at the end, Tomorrowland is also blacked out. So we get multiple blackouts in the movie. Something else that has been foreshadowed a lot in several movies, TV shows, news documentaries on National Geographic Channel, and more. You know, a lot of this symbolism, it's not just here from Tomorrowland, it's been shown over and over in multiple movies in multiple ways. Tomorrowland, just a very recent and very good example. In the end, they save the earth and they're teaching a new generation of children what they can do. They've printed out these new pins so that these kids can see a better world, and they're all learning what they can do to save it, you know? What's sick to me, Truth Seeker, is the people who run this world, who give us these movies with these happy endings, also foreshadowing destruction. They realize what they do to the children of this world. Children in this earth are tormented from a young age. They are programmed from a young age with sugary foods, with television programming that is mostly nothing but violence, teaching to want more and more toys, video games, etc. from a young age. So here the movie is showing that the people who run the show, they know what's right, but this isn't what they do. Instead, they do the opposite. Tormenting, teasing. In the end, we're given this shot. The children, the people who've gotten the pins, they are in the field that is the vision when you have the Tomorrowland pin. So, you know, that's pretty much the film. That is all the significant coding within. I hope I explained it clearly enough. I know at some points I got a little bit choppy. From here, what I just want to show you is some more things. Remember, this is a Disney film. Something else people can do besides eat better, besides change their consumption habits, is they can stop supporting Disney. Disney is one of the most evil corporations in the world, and they are one of the most powerful, and people in this world, especially the United States, are programmed to give them almost all of their money annually. And I'm not kidding. I mean, think about how many families that scrape by, barely have enough money to pay the bills, and then whatever's left, they spend on the vacation to Disney, to take their kids to the Disney movie, to buy the Disney box set. You know, this is almost every single family I'm aware of. All of my friends who I grow up with, almost all of them have a kid or more than one kid right now. I could easily be just like them. But since a young age, I have known I don't want any children because I don't want to bring them into this world because I've seen how sick it is since I was a kid. I've been awake. My friends have not. Now they've all grown up and they're all contributing to the problems of society, taking their children to Disneyland, sponsoring these corporations that rule over us with tyranny and have enslaved their children, you know, and people just want to give their money right back to them. Look at all the 33 in Disney, Truth Seeker. It's on the 33rd parallel in Anaheim, which has gematria of 33. It's in Orange County, 33 land. Remember, poison and program equal 88 like California. Disneyland opened in the year 55. Remember how Satan equals 55? If I'm not mistaken, Snow White came out that year on December 21st. 12 plus 21, 33. Disney himself, his wife's name was Lillian, a name with 33 gematria. They had their only child, Diane Disney, in the year 33. Diane, a name with simple English gematria of 33. Remember, she died on the premiere of the movie Frozen. I have a video on Frozen. It's all coded with these numbers too. She died on the premiere of Frozen, the 323rd day of the year. Remember, Lucifer equals 323. Supposedly, she fell on a hike and killed herself. Hike, a word with 33 gematria. I have a feeling the truth is that this woman was an occult sacrifice on that day. November 19th. So, with regards to 113 Productions, 113 was a number coded very heavily into the Paris attacks. What I'm about to show you is just a fraction of everything I've uncovered on my blog with regards to 113. The Bataclan, where the majority of deaths happened, it was designated as a historical place in France on November 3rd, 11/3, or 3/11, the reflection. The attack on November 13th came exactly 311 days after the Charlie Hebdo attack. And remember, the Charlie Hebdo attack happened at 11:30 a.m. 11:30, 113. Remember, the words mainstream, dishonest, and green screen all sum to 113. Baba Kamal, we talked about that in the beginning. It's okay for Jews to lie to Gentiles. The band playing at the Bataclan was from Palm Desert, California. Pythagorean 93. Palm Desert Simple English Gematria 113. Mainstream Dishonest Green Screen. And let us not forget that the word propaganda is 93. The Eagles of Death Metal in Pythagorean Gematria also has a connection to 93. Again, the Bataclan was sold on September 11th by its Jewish owners. It was sold on a date with 55 numerology. The word Satan equals 55. The false Jews are known as the Synagogue of Satan. This is 63 days before the Paris attacks, when Paris equals 63 again, that number from the timer from the beginning. What we're looking at here is the French Republican calendar. This year marked the 224th year, starting September 23rd. The 223rd year concluded. Remember, 223, another important number. Friday the 13th equals 223. The Synagogue of Satan, Masonic. So anyhow, that is the information I wanted to share with you, Truth Seeker. Lengthy post here. Thank you if you listened all the way. Hope you learned a few new things. If you take this knowledge and you apply it to movies, you will see again and again that movies are very much coated with gematria. Just yesterday, I happened to be watching King of New York, a movie I'd never seen, and I also saw the second Rambo. Let me just share with you. I just saw these two movies yesterday. I just want to show you how redundant gematria coding is. Frank White's character in this movie is born on 4/7, which could either be April 7th or July 4th. Mafia in Jewish gematria equals 47. Who Frank White is the head of the mafia in New York, known as the King of New York in this film. And King of New York itself sums to 74. These are incredibly important numbers to the Masons and the Zionists. They code them again and again. Super redundant. As for Rambo, the beginning of part 2 gives us these stats. They're talking about Rambo, what an impressive killer he is. 59 confirmed kills. What's the kill number? 59. What's John Rambo equal? 96. John Rambo's born in the year 47. Look at it, Truth Seeker. 47. The name John has a gematria of 47 as well. You know? Almost every movie I put on, I can't watch it for more than 10 minutes without seeing the very deliberate gematria put on the screen in front of my eyes. And if you become aware of this language, you're going to see just as clearly as I do. The people who run the show, they code the same numbers again and again and again, Truth Seeker. So that's the message. If you have time, check out this Tomorrowland movie. Some very interesting coding going on. Until next time.